Hello, this is Rhoda. I'm very excited today because I'm going to be sharing with you a brief but pertinent area of study, which is called temperament. For me, temperament is the single most important thing that you can learn about yourself. It controls you. Temperament dictates why you like the things you like, why you behave the way you do, why you prefer the things you prefer, why you can do the things you can do, relate well with those you do, so on and so forth. So for me, it's very important because it determines why you eat the way you do, why you drive the way you do, why you write the way you do, why you pay debts the way you do, and so on and so forth. Every single thing about your life is regulated to a very large degree by your temperament. Now, when we talk about temperament, we're looking at your true character in its raw form. Your character traits without any external influence, be it education, religion, culture, social orientation, experiences, and so on and so forth. So how you are without any influence, you in your most rawest of forms, you in your most basic form without any external influence of the benefits of all those influences. So you in your most unshaped form. So without any education, how are you? Without any religion, without any social orientation or cultural expectation, how you behave the way you do in your rawest form. That is what we mean by temperament. Now, there are 4 types of temperaments, and they're classified into extroverts and then introverts. Now, the first type of temperament, which is the first type of extrovert, is called the sanguine. Now, the sanguines are very interesting kind of people. I should say, first of all, that each temperament has its strengths and weaknesses. Each temperament, each group of people that belong to a particular sector of temperament have what they can excel at, or have character traits that are very favorable and other character traits that are a bit distasteful. But that's the beauty of life, because the strengths and the weaknesses, when combined together, actually complement one another. So now let's look at the strengths and weaknesses of the first type of temperament we call sanguine. Now, when someone is sanguine, that means they are very outgoing. They are very pleasant people. They are warm, friendly, very responsive. They're enthusiastic. They are compassionate, very sociable, likable people who are very persuasive and convincing in everything they do. They're very cheerful people, happy-go-lucky, fun-loving, always in a good mood kind of people. Those are the people we call sanguines. Now, those are the strengths, or the beautiful sides, I should say, of sanguines. Now, let's look at their downsides. Sanguines can be very undisciplined people, extremely emotionally unstable and emotional, actually, unproductive, egocentric, and selfish. They can exaggerate and lie a lot. I mean, people that are convincing and persuasive, you have to know that sometimes they resort to some sorts of lies and all of that. So sanguines, while they are sweet and pleasant and beautiful people, they can also be very fickle-minded, very unstable, unproductive, because any form of productivity and goal reaching requires some sort of discipline and seriousness, and sanguines tend to lack the seriousness and discipline that is required to achieve goals. So they are very friendly, and they can start things and spark friendship and initiate things, but they are not able to see things through because they lack the discipline, the mental fortitude, and the emotional stability that it takes. So they're very egocentric people, that everything they do sort of leads back to themselves. They'll praise you to the extent that the compliments leads back to them. They do everything with themselves in mind. They think of themselves a lot, but they're compassionate people. They tend to be people oriented, and so sanguines tend to excel in job arenas that require cheerfulness, enthusiasm, convincing people, persuading people, being very charismatic, things that require, dealing with people. So like jobs like receptionists, actors, entertainers, pediatric doctors, even nursery teachers, auctioneers, anything that involves fronting and starting and, being cheerful and being pleasant and sweet, dealing nicely with people. So you want you want your receptionist to be a sanguine, because they would welcome people with a smile. They would even flirt a bit if they have to. You want your salesmen to be sanguineous, because they know how to persuade, exaggerate, even act and exaggerate the quality of a product, for example, for people to buy. They're very persuasive kind of people. You would want a sanguine to be at your party, because they are great MCs. They are entertainers. They make people laugh. They lighten the atmosphere wherever they are. So these are the traits of sanguine. So you see, they are not too. That we have the unpalatable side and then the very great side, and that is very regular for all the temperaments. Now let's zoom to the cholerics. Now when we say choleric, as you can already hear from the sound, I should say, it sounds very strong, and that's how cholerics are: strong-headed people, very independent-minded, goal-oriented people, extremely productive people who are natural leaders. Now cholerics are natural leaders, strong-willed, visionary people who can bear people up, train people, push people. So they are the natural leaders in every situation, very productive, very practical and logical, not given to too much emotions. Now let's look at the downsides. Now cholerics tend to be very cold, very unemotional, self-sufficient, and domineering. They can also be very unforgiving and cruel, and even angry, sarcastic, extremely sarcastic, because they are natural leaders, and they are very goal oriented, and they achieve everything they set their minds to do. They have this dogged determination. Anything that a choleric sets their minds to achieve, they achieve. Nothing, no obstacle is big enough to make them cave. They are strong, and they are visionary. They see things through. They have the discipline and mental fortitude it takes to see projects through. So they are project oriented. And so you want cholerics to find themselves in jobs that require productivity, that requires leadership and visionary attitude or temperaments. And they are very charismatic leaders that can pull people. They train people. So people like supervisors, leaders, CEOs, trainers, even doctors. But cholerics they don't often turn out to be very good doctors, except if they are they actually train themselves to mellow on their sarcastic sides. So cholerics tend to be very good leaders, like I said, and trainers, and any job that requires leading people, moving people, achieving goals. So project managers, production managers, supervisors, anything that is leadership, that is cholerics for you. Like I said, they can be extremely unforgiving, because they don't give themselves the luxury to not achieve goals, and neither do they give their followers. So if you're a follower of a choleric person, you might think they are difficult people. They are very exigent, and they'll scrape every ounce of work from you because they believe things can be achieved. And so your genuine excuse might even come as some form of laziness to them. They are hardworking, and they'll make sure everyone around them moves and pushes. So they're good people. They get the world moving. Think of cholerics as the accelerators of cars. They move things. If you have a choleric in your team, you're always moving, because they don't sleep, they don't rest on their oars until they achieve whatever they set themselves to achieve, even if it means running roughshod people, moving people, pushing people. They can also be very domineering. They don't care whether you're tired. Once there's a goal to be achieved, a choleric will not sleep and will not allow others to sleep until they achieve it. So they are strong-willed, independent-minded people who do not say never, for whom nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. They have this great can-do spirit that anything at all is possible if you put your mind to. So cholerics are very strong-minded people that you want in your team, but their downside being unemotional and unforgiving, sarcastic, cruel and angry, and never really trying to empathize with why people cannot do things, because they are so able, such that they naturally intimidate people. So you see people, when people say this person is difficult, this person doesn't like people, doesn't understand, is so troublesome, it's actually because they are choleric, and they don't get why you're tired, why you can't achieve things, and so they say no to excuses. So cholerics, this is a very brief description of how cholerics are. Now let's move on to the melancholics. The melancholics are the first type of introverts. Now cholerics and sanguines are the two extroverts that there are. Now melancholics, they are the natural intelligent people, naturally intelligent. In fact, of all the 4 temperaments, melancholics are the most intelligent. They are great spellers. They have photographic memory, and they can remember things very easily. They are